the thing that I found interesting, the very end, as we were talking about, what is lose what is most precious to you, or what would you give for what is most precious to you? You know what happened immediately? I immediately thought of my friends. I did not think of my life.
Oh.
My Banny was Banny has already given up the fact that he's gonna die on the job somewhere. Bjorn has two. but that's one of those things.
He's going to be really pissed.
Oh God, I've been working so hard for this.
If he doesn't end up dead, then he's really pissed. What is that? What
Yeah, the Call of Valhalla is right there at any point in
To
time.
die of old age is a Viking's worst nightmare.
Jeez. And yeah, so when Robin said your life, and I was like, wait, no, that wouldn't be it. Nope, it's not the thing that concerns me most. It was like the life of my friends, or I was looking at the people around me at that point, because Banny has lived a full life. At this point, he's lived a handful of lives worthy of yeah, good lives. Things he's proud of.
What was I saying about characters in this certain arc of their character exploration the other day? The nihilism that starts to kick in.
Yeah, it's like,
I mean, you inhabit somebody long enough, and you kind of live with the emotional bruises that they pick up along the way. It's like an escalating game of Russian roulette, where you just keep adding bullets to the gun, and now there are more bullets than empty chambers.
That's right.
Oops. Oh, jeez. Yeah, just no more. Zzz. It's just gonna happen. It's been amazing that we've gotten all 5 bullets in there, though.
And still missed.
It's well, hit on an empty chamber. I don't know exactly how that works, but
How did I miss?
at this point, I really want that bullet to be there. I'm just being.
I think that's fair, and I think that inhabiting Robin, at least as where my perception of her is, she doesn't intentionally, or she doesn't intend that this is near the end of her story arc. She kind of feels like she's only within the last couple of months sort of like found her identity or role there.
Yeah.
But, she's just selfish. Well, but also, too, she was thinking about it from the nymph's point of view. I mean, she doesn't know who this person is, but it seems to be this is the dark fae or the unseelie. So it's like, what would you most treasure? Your life? Can't do much if you don't have it. I don't know. Yeah. But now, so she made the contract unintentionally. So we'll have to do something about that.
Will the Queen of the Unseelie Court come track you down if you don't fulfill that contract?
That's just another contract not fulfilled.
Oh, now Robin's pretty good about fulfilling her contracts, isn't she?
Well, that was
she won't go back on her word.
I don't know. Did the Queen of Darkness and Silence strike you as a vindictive sword?
Well, will it matter if the worlds actually get separated after Maddoc is done away with?
Well, I think that she still has presence here. It's just that it's not on top of it.
Right.
If they have the ability to pull the worlds together, Maddoc is doing that right now. He pulled the worlds together, layered them over top of each other. If he has the power to do that now, I wouldn't be surprised if she can just reach out and flick somebody from a distance. Maybe. Just saying.
Yeah.
Putting words into John's mouth over here.
We all know.
It sounds an awful variation on what is it? The spell that can turn people into puppets from the Middle Welkin? Who does that?
Oh, that's the Rinconi, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Connie, right?
The Rinconi look an awful lot like. Hey?
Are you saying you didn't stray too far from the source material to
Yeah,
get where you're going?
I'm thinking I didn't really have to overreach.
But here's the thing, because you bring up a good point. Because if in the case of, like, I think of the Ghost, which was a great story, long time ago, where Robin kept her vow to that ghost. The ghost was actually a mother and well intentioned and so forth. Even though you're right, the fate of Robin may not be good. It's not like she felt like she was even intentionally getting into a contract with her, nor does she think that the dark Fey Queen is actually someone who is worthy of having a, you know what I mean, like trusting or honoring anyway. She'd go back on her word. She's killing her daughter, for that matter. Who cares?
Killing her daughter. I think it's a kind of a dime a dozen type of thing. Maybe not necessarily a daughter is just kind of an inherited, an advanced. It's like work advancement, and then you can also demote instantly.
It's a title. Oh, you are now promoted to daughter.
You are now a promoted. I'm going to shepherd you. Although, or like Octopus says, octopi. There we go.
Octomom.
Octomom, like Octomom. When you have so many children.
I
Right.
mean, how many could you have after Millennium?
Oh,
yeah, true.
A couple.
Yeah. No wonder she is more than my age, but she kind of, was close. No, just kidding.
Now, as I recall, our intrepid heroes stumbled back to the manor house with the intentions of sleeping through the day and getting up at, what did you say, 8 o'clock?
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
To go into battle.
After eating a healthy last meal.
Yeah.
One healthy last meal.
And the intent was basically to go smallest to largest targets, expecting that the champion is the largest target.
I got to pull out my notebook. I've set aside too much relevant information.
I have the 3 bargains ready, at least from my interpretation, as we're eating dinner.
as everybody's
How important
eating.
is this one to you personally, Danny?
Let's rate this. Actually, that's exactly it. We should all sit around the table and say, So who promised to do this? Hands.
Well,
1, 2, 3,
Bourbon,
4.
bourbon, please.
So after a good day's rest, let's meet someplace semi-private. I don't think the dining hall is the right place.
Study. We got to go back to the study. I just want.
Does Danny suggest the study?
Yes. Map table.
He doesn't know any better, so
Complete.
Yeah, good idea.
Complete with ghosts. Yes. He will totally say we should go to the study. Especially because if he sees the colonel as he wanders around, I'm gonna say, we're gonna solve a problem for you, and I'm gonna take one of your scotches from the cabinet.
What time do you all rise and head to the study?
You said that Blanca would have 8 hours of sleep by what time?
Well, if you crashed around 9 a.m., so you'd be good by 5.
Yeah. Rise and meet with the others and agree to go to the study.
You do encounter the colonel. He is chit-chatting with his oldest nephew, Lyle. They abruptly stop their conversation as you come forward, and the colonel pats him on the shoulder and says, we'll take this up at another time, lad. Turns and gives you all a head nod.
Look at Lyle.
Glad to see you're back, Mr. Elkin.
Thank you. I appreciate the last-minute rescue. It is dangerous in those woods.
It was your friends that did all the rescuing.
Yeah, Well, they needed some guidance to get to me, or even know that I was gone. Apparently.
Will you be joining us for dinner?
I assume so. I look to Blanca.
No, what time is dinner?
8 o'clock.
Of course, of course.
Mind if we take a moment inside of the study after we adjourn from dinner?
Certainly. You've got time now if you wish to retire there. Father won't mind.
Maybe we could have a chat with you too. Bring you along.
I could probably go for a drink before dinner. Certainly.
It's the best time, I hear.
He follows you, and you all go into the study. It's a bibliophile's dream. It's a Titanic file's dream. And
Wet
there
dream.
sits Bruce Ismay with his one leg slumped to one side in his wheelchair, staring at the painting of the sinking over the fireplace and muttering something. His nurse stands quietly in a corner.
Turn to Banny, head nod towards the man in the chair. Is this what you meant?
Wait till you smell sea salt.
A colonel walks past his father like he's not even there and approaches the bar. A footman scoots in through another door before the colonel can even touch a bottle. The colonel says, "Whiskey's all around?"
Please.
He picks out a good blend, and everyone is handed a glass of whiskey.
Tumbler.
I need one of those. Okay. So some of the things that I should let you know what is kind of befallen us since we've been on these here. I just want to inform you of there are going to be some going-ons that are going to be big and noisy and under your supervision, or at least under your acknowledgement, Colonel, sir. I'm a military man.
What are you telling him, Banny? Tell him we're going to cause some mischief and it's going to make some noise.
Yeah.
And he was there with us. We were both firing at the Barghast last night, so he understands some of the.
Well, there's no doubt there's dangerous things in the forest, and the fairies at Drachenfels have always been somewhat active, but never to this extent.
Well, I think we figured out why, and I didn't realize a Bargeist? I don't even know what that is. Or
let me ask you some questions, because this seems to be your area of expertise. Do you know what is plaguing my niece Constance, and can you put an end to it?
Everyone looks at Blanca.
Has my nephew Lyle become entranced or enchanted? And is there a way to break that enchantment?
We intend to sever all these unhealthy ties and release them from their lusty servitude or their nightmarish existence. I mean, I knew when we came here there were problems to be solved. I had no idea how deep the river flowed.
Your vacations suck.
Now, the babes in the house, my grand nieces and nephew, have said that they've seen something staring in at them from the window on the third floor, and their nanny has confirmed this. But at the same time, they complain of whispering and thumping in the attics, which are unoccupied. Okay.
So there's a few things. I believe that when we shut one door, or when we close one door, multiple things will disappear. The thing at the window is likely related to the more active fairy presence here. Now, I will say, we're it's really complicated, but the consort of the Queen of Fairies wants to live in your reality. And we're just going to send him home. We're going to send him packing.
That's simple.
That's, that simple as we can get it. However, at any point in time, do you have a flare gun? Because there may be a need for a few people who can wield a weapon, especially armed with cold iron rounds, to join into the fight.
Well, please realize that the only people on the estate with any combat experience are myself and Mr. Padraig.
That's
Our
all.
driver served, but he did not see combat. And of course, none of my nieces, nephews, or children have ever seen anything like that, nor will they. The servants and the other residents of the estate want to do nothing to interfere with the wee folk and will want to keep to their own business and safety.
Yeah, I do recognize that there's an element of good and an element of evil here. And we are especially focused on that element of evil. To release Lyle, to remove the the thing that stares in from the windows. I am not sure what's up in the attic, but we can check on that if everything else goes well. I will say that if we fail in our task, though, that wave will come crashing down on the manor. And that is not what I want.
Well, I should tell you that there are things on the estate that seem to have always been here that perhaps are not related to the Fae. For example, the bogs at the north end of the estate. The hags have ruled there since before the Ismay family took over. And there is also a very strong indication that an anise may be somewhere on the property. And I have my suspicions that perhaps that is what is looking through the window at the children, or anise have a particular taste for young flesh.
It's disturbing.
Indeed. But one thing at a time, yes?
Yes.
Danny,
Yes.
the other thing, we know some things and we don't know many, but one in particular that seems important is something of a weapon to be found in our possession already.
I point above the mantle.
Okay. Trident?
The colonel smiles and nods.
What is it?
Is that what we're looking for?
The claymore.
Yeah.
The
Ancestral?
claymore's been in our family for centuries. There are some that say it was designed to slay a particular creature, and there are others who claim it was Arthur's. Quite fantastical stories, of course.
Arthur's. That is quite.
But it is spectacularly balanced. Quite some amazing craftsmanship. Icenian, I'm sure.
I look to Blanca and say, what's it look like? Oh, you're muted.
Smile at Robin. She's had me look at enough things over the past months. Glance up at the claymore. I think I've already
Probably hit this once because
Yeah.
Did you come in here with me though? I don't think
its
so.
bourbon.
I think that I came out of the study and told you about what was going on in the study. But
The colonel comes and stands next to you, Blanca, while you're looking at it, and he says, "Magnificent, is it not?
It's
Some say that Patrick, the saint of Magnetia, carried it. Others say that it was forged to slay dragons. I can't quite say how it got into the family, but here it is. Quite an amazing weapon from a time."
I realize that weapons of this size and majesty were used on the battlefield, but seeing it here, it seems overly large for any purpose but to just mark this place on the mantle.
Well, I don't know how someone would wield it, but just to pick it up and find out just how well balanced and light it is,
May I hold it?
by all means.
Robin stands by to try to lay an assistance, thinking it's going to be a big thing.
Is it high? Is it low enough down that Blanca can reach it without stretching?
If you stand on your toes, you can reach up and lift it from over the hearth.
Can I play with
It sits, there's the mantle, the blade, and then the Titanic illustration.
Oh.
Robin, could you pull that down for me?
She does. Stretches. And so Robin gets to feel it first. Ooh, how does it feel like? Before handing it to
Don't cut yourself.
don't cut yourself. Ow.
Using my arcane arts, invest a few moments to study the magics under the covers, if any.
So the first thing you detect is that, yes, indeed, it is magical. The longer you study it, you realize that not only is it an evocation, it's a rare evocation. And as you hold this thing, it feels to you as nimble as a dagger, except this thing is a little bit from point to pommel taller than you are.
Wow.
But you have no doubt that you could move this thing like a switchblade.
Holy.
Hold it and let the others observe the remarkable nature of this thing without overtly showing it. But my petite size and the
Right, and you wielding it is going to stand out.
yeah.
I mean, if it felt that light too, even as I was handing it over, it would probably
You're
look
like,
at you
is this a decorative sword? That's not real metal.
right.
Gonna-
That's totally right.
Gonna stand on the edge of a fjord doing this.
Are you going to run your thumb
Probably the
along
drum
its
start.
edge to see if it's decorative or not?
As one who is not terribly proficient with swords, I'm not going to do anything fancy.
I don't want Bjorn to get it.
Bjorn's already sidling over toward
I know, right?
Yeah, it's like, that looks
I
nice.
feel a shadow
Can I
crawl over me and blanket the wall.
That's right. I'll carry it.
You're going to have to lose the axe if you're doing that. Unless you can do cross-sheathing, but it just seems really sad to put them next to each other.
It's like
That's
a
not
wardrobe
meant to be
for,
sheathed.
for an armory.
Well, that's already how he looked, really.
He's the
I
guy.
had to read Le Mort d'Arthur when I was a girl. You mean this is? I mean this? This is what you think? Looking at Blanca.
Well, that's what,
Blanca,
that's what he said.
roll a perception.
Ooh. She doesn't have a great perception, but that's a good roll. That's a 28.
Blanca, you hear a woman's voice that says, "Is that you, Guinevere?"
I will lean forward and place that back on the mantle and take a moment to reflect.
Oh, then Robin will help because again the height. Okay.
Careful, careful! I call out.
Careful.
You still feel a bit of a tingle in you.
You said you read the Tales of King Arthur?
Le Mort d'Arthur.
Who?
I really didn't like it.
I remember almost reading most of it in school. Who's Guinevere?
Wife d'Arthur. Yeah, his the queen, the wife,
Guinevere.
Guinevere. Yes. Yeah. And
As I held the blade and studied it, a woman's voice called out, asking if I was Guinevere.
Oh, okay.
it asked
oh,
you.
okay. I'll take another one of those whiskeys.
Yeah. Pour 2 fingers, please.
What if Bjorn holds it? Will it ask him
If he's
Arthur?
angry? Oh.
Are you a rock?
If I stick it in you.
Are you a rock?
Bjorn would survive, and he'd just walk around with this thing in him.
Stuck in
out of
him.
it.
John, just for your information, I'll continue to study it with a hand on it, so I can release it without dropping it.
Okay. Do you answer its question, or do you just stand there with your hand on it?
I am not going to be.
You are picking up an evocation like you've never felt before. And they don't really come across so much as words as they do imagery or feelings. And the 2 words that come through the strongest are Tane and Vorpal.
Do you reside within the blade, or are you ephemeral?
I am neither. The blade is a channel. Do you have need of it?
I know someone who does. I am not worthy.
Only one was worthy. Will you take up his mantle?
I know one who will. Turn to the group, Robin, Danny, and Bjorn. The sword looks for a champion. I am not it.
I am definitely better with a weapon like this. Not me.
Robin?
I'm not opposed to it, but I am used to a pistol as well.
You felt the weight of it. It is substanceless. It swings like air. It glides like clouds in your hand.
Yes.
Is it to be Bjorn? Is he Arthur's
Everyone looks up at the Green Knight or whatever.
Is it permanent? Because we kind of need him back at base after this.
Bjorn scowls. I am no Arthur, but I don't fear the blade.
I will pull it down from the wall mount. Present it like I read in the book.
But I thought that it chose who was worthy. Is there a stone to put it in?
Bjorn reaches out and takes it and says, how do we know it didn't just choose?
Well, you know what? Let's just get the job done and we can talk to it later. It talks to you?
The colonel says, you may take it, you may use it, but return it.
Robin
Yeah.
stands close to Bjorn. Do you hear it?
He's holding it. He's staring at it. I'm not certain. I feel something. I don't hear a voice, but I have an image in my head.
What do
I
you
have
see?
an image of a creature. It is twice, 3 times as big as the dragons of legend. And the image I have is that it descends from the sky onto such a dragon and kills it.
Oh.
The creature's terrifying.
Do you think that this is the champion that we're to face?
The creature's name is Tane. I do not know if it is a champion.
Well, that's good to know, Tane. So if this is made to hurt, no, okay, not necessarily the champion. This was for Maddox as well. I mean,
This was Lay?
this was specifically pointed out to us as the thing that would send Maddox back. That as from my memory, I could be wrong. However, I'm sure it's pretty good for just about anything that comes over from that side. So
Bjorn twirls it in the classic patented Haney move. It's like moving a chopstick.
But at least it looks right to the scale.
It does. It does look quite a bit more to scale.
Chop the.
Suddenly Conan drums start bumping. Dun, dun, dun.
Bjorn looks at it and says, "It is very sharp."
don't. Do we have a sheath for this?
Colonel says, "No, it's been on the mantelpiece for at least 100 years. Well, except for when I have handled it, but Martin wants to handle it, but I will not permit it."
Yeah,
That's understandable.
It's a rough one. So
a footman comes in, excuses himself, whispers something to Colonel, and the Colonel lowers his head. "Speaking of Martin, will you all excuse me? I wish you well on your excursion."
we will be sure to push back, but until we come calling again, be prepared. Be prepared.
After he leaves, get focused with the team. We made some promises and commitments in the last 24 hours that I don't know that I can hold to all of them, but I will cleave to the commitment that we free this mansion of the infestation. Maddoc is the first thing that must perish.
I agree.
The
The
champion,
artist.
I fear this champion could be a winged terror from the sky, which might make leaving here in one piece difficult. And it occurred to me during my slumber that that Lyle he hasn't been himself because of a magical affliction, and that releasing him is also important to me. If that happens when Maddoc is dispatched, so be it. If not, I'm not opposed to seeing the Queen's daughter to an early retirement.
Yeah. You noticed that I was not really willing to put her head on the line. she didn't do me at all, but she did. She did. She didn't do me any like real danger or disservice. She brought me to this place. It seemed like so much in her nature just to lead people into this place. I didn't necessarily have any angst against her, but
Benny,
she
Benny,
did,
you are a man. If I had been abducted by her and taken away from my life, I think that I could look at it more squarely. But she seduced you, it sounds like. So that is why you do not see it.
yeah. There's a syndrome for that. But I do understand. I mean, I don't necessarily think it's worthy of death, but at the same time, it doesn't. I am fine with following through on all the promises we've made. Just don't necessarily feel as comfortable on that one.
Well, we're fully rested. We'll get a meal in our belly, and we'll go face Maddoc in the ruins.
This, the other aspect of this is the Colonel just brought up another two spaces that I didn't consider. That, well, the hags being somebody who may be outside of the control of Maeve, the queen, and peering in on the infants as one thing. But what's in the attic?
One infant is a changeling who needs no protection.
But there's still an infant. There's still one, even if he is a right bastard. Couldn't be exactly a bastard, or else he wouldn't be here. But anyway, Hyacinth. I had a few moments to talk with her, and she was not happy with. I can now see why she's super flighty. She's extremely hesitant to engage, and a lot of it has to do with her 2-year-old niece, or is it actually her sister? I can't really pair those two together, but she torments Hyacinth. She knows she can get away with it. Anyway, that changeling, absolutely going to go.
Robin, make a willpower save, 25.
15 plus 15, 30.
All right, so you do not scream in surprise when Bruce Ismay rams his wheelchair into your heels from behind. Everyone was into the story that Danny was telling, and I think you all may jump a bit. Ismay is looking up at you with some clarity in his eyes that you have not seen before.
Spin around. What is it, monsieur? What?
He points to Bjorn and says, Snicker snack.
Snicker snack.
And then his eyes kind of glaze over. He starts mumbling again.
Uh-oh. I gotta...
I'm trying to remember if it was Banny who heard someone saying Snicker snack.
Nope. This is a literary thing. Let's see how much I got literary chops going on here. Would I go off of society, or would I go off of lore, or mountain lore? Yeah, lore of the mountains.
I think it's going to be a basic lore, but you can add your intelligence modifier.
Oh, yeah, it's already built in. I don't have a basic lore.
Well, you do write books. I'm assuming you're well read, so I'll give you an extra +3.
Okay. Let's go with 20.
Oh.
Beware the Jabberwock.
Well, a 20 gets you what you think you know.
Okay. And I'll just say that. The Jabberwock.
What's a Jabberwock?
Snicker snack?
I don't know. What you just said triggered that thought in my head.
This is
We might want to do a little looking up to see if we can figure out where that.
We're in a library. I think you might have a chance.
just avoid the Titanic section.
Well,
It's a big section.
It's enormous.
look up like folklore. I mean, come on, there's got to be a book on folklore in this place, but it doesn't. I don't know if I quite understand how everything's arranged here.
Stories and folk, and I mean, I can try to throw in a lore.
Blanca will assist Banny in searching. She knows her way around the library.
Go ahead.
Are you allowed to do more than one plus then on there? Because I'm doing the same. We're all gonna assist Banny in finding.
Yeah, with 3 of you all searching, it's an extra +2 from you, Robin.
I'm gonna waste all my good rolls before we get into combat.
That's John's motive.
Yeah,
I got a 20 to assist you in total if I just add my basic lore, nothing else.
yeah. I've got a 13 plus whatever, which
Going
man,
with lore?
if I was going,
Blanca aids for an additional 2.
Yeah.
the thing is, when it comes to lore, I have mountains lore, which is my scouting and hunting. It's nothing to do with. I have nature lore or nature. I have
So more Jack London, less Lewis Carroll.
yeah.
I mean, you don't have untrained improvisation or.
I don't have that. Somebody else has got to pick that up.
Yeah. I mean, we could try to switch it around. I mean, that's what I have.
Well, now that I've given you what I have,
right, the Jabberwock,
yeah.
which
Bjorn
sounds
frowns.
weird.
This is not the Scandinavian word.
No, it's
Not
got.
Clovian. It's probably Magnetian.
So somebody else roll and
Okay.
hit something better than I.
And I wish I could just use what I just used, but I can't. So will you assist?
Well, we're all assisting.
Okay.
Robin, your orphanage upbringing probably has your head filled with all kinds of stories and bedtime
Most
stuff.
of
that's
it about
scary.
stuff under the bed.
Yes. And wouldn't that be the Jabberwock? Whatever that is.
Fit.
Yeah, out of character. I'm sure I remember that poem. Anyway. So with assistance, yes.
Yeah.
+4.
Yeah,
Right,
plus
that'll
4.
be important.
I don't know what the DC is to assist, but
Usually 15.
Does a 25 help?
Why don't you just do it?
I know. Why the hell are you just anyway?
This is not my field of expertise. I deal with magic, not with.
Not with like
Children's
weird
stories.
folklore and children's stories. This
Yeah.
is definitely in that category. Okay, so
If my mother read one children's story to me in my life, I would roll over right now and die.
we come to 21.
You come to 21 and you realize that you are looking more for poetry than you are for actual lore.
That's right.
Bjorn, you love poetry.
You love
Yeah.
poetry.
What do you know of the Jabberwock?
Jabberwock,
I
Snicker
told you,
snack.
this name is not Scandinavian.
Yes, you make up names all the time. Just make this one up. That language you have sounds more like pouring milk into cereal.
I do. Yes. But anyway,
Muselix.
we do not have a word for this Jabberwock. What is it? What is the lore? And I will tell you if we have something similar.
It is some kind of a
I-
poem about a monster.
Well, it's something in
I
a
know many
forest.
poems about monsters.
I know. That's why you should be perfect at this. There's something about a blade that goes snicker snack, and something about a
I read it-
Jabberwocky, and I don't know what it is, but it's in the dark of the forest and it's dangerous.
The blade is. she said to me, the woman in the sword, or channeling through the sword, talked about it being Vorpal. I remember in magic school they talked about Vorpal being a type of keen blade that travels so easily through flesh as to not notice it.
Ooh.
Bjorn says the book is in the house of all these people. Is there no one in the house that is familiar with the story you are trying to find?
I am sure that we could find somebody.
Let's. I know Martin is useless, but he graduated from Cambridge. He should know this library.
From Cambridge. Okay, go ahead. I'm from Oxford.
How are you going to go about finding Martin?
I'll look for a servant in the hallway and have him summoned.
There's an attendant over by the bar.
Oh, who's the one who came? Oh, right. Someone came in to tell him about Martin.
Yes.
That one left with the colonel.
Right.
Go to the bartender and say, we're looking for a member of the household. Could you summon Cousin Martin?
One moment. He moves over to a telephone. He picks it up, speaks to the butler.
Spit a little bit. What? House phone?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, now you're jealous.
I see. Yes. Thank you, sir. He hangs up. Mr. Martin is indisposed. He's in town, and the colonel has gone to fetch him.
Could you call for Lyle?
I could certainly try to find him.
Thank you.
He gets back on the phone. Yes, so sorry to disturb you again, sir. They're looking for Master Lyle. Yes. One moment. Master Lyle is not in the...
The hell?
Everyone's out. It's in the evening.
Well, look at the mantle clock. What time is it?
It's about 6:15.
We've got an hour and 45 before dinner. I don't know that we need to know what a Jabberwock is or Jabberwocky is. We just need to know that it's dangerous to dragons, and that should be enough information.
Bjorn says dragons are mythology. They don't
Yeah.
exist.
Brian, you know as well as I
Wait a
do
minute.
that mythology comes out of the walls and attacks us on a regular enough basis that I'm not going to dismiss it offhand.
Perhaps, but you have always said there are no dragons, that there never were dragons.
You said
And
that.
there still aren't dragons, but there are things that like to look like dragons that we still have to defeat.
Scowl.
Look,
Nothing
Didn't
you
you
can do
just-
with that.
Didn't you just have a vision of dragons and one getting crushed by a big thing that
Right. You just saw this.
But you should see the visions I have when I go to bed.
actually no. I don't want to participate.
we all take our heads and look at the floor.
Yeah.
The
You're on your own.
the footman tells you that if there are any other family members you're looking for, you are likely to find them in the gathering room on the 3rd floor. That is generally where they go before the evening meal.
Ask the footman, are there any of these genteel folk who are well read? Better read
Well,
than
it's hardly for me to comment on someone's educational status, but I do see Miss Hyacinth with her nose in a book most of the time.
she is somebody I know, and I will follow up on that. Thank you.
What
Let's.
do you think, Danny?
I'm gonna go fetch Hyacinth.
It's better than the idea I had.
What was
I was
that?
thinking Victoria.
Well, Victoria would be fun, but she would not depart the rest of her company and be among people who could eviscerate her with words. She needs her protection, her pillow. The chinless pillow she's got. I'll be back.
More likely, she's a Bloomingdale's girl and doesn't want to go to Walmart.
Yeah. We're the Walmart crowd, after
That's
all.
right. That's right. These shirts are so cheap.
They're so comfy.
My very best Tweety Bird shirt. Who's
Robin,
going to go fetch Hyacinth?
Good, because I'm pretty sure Victoria has never worn pockets in her life.
Ooh.
She's useless.
so Banny, you're going to go fetch?
Or if when I mention it to the footman,
Do you wish me to tell her you would like to see her?
yeah. I mean, I don't
Very
know
good.
if I want to intrude on whatever
He's
social
already taken
gathering
the
is.
order.
I can certainly deliver the message.
Appreciate it. Just
He
have her.
scoots out of the library. The nurse approaches her ward, wipes off some of the drool, asks him if he's hungry. He mutters at her. She tells him that it's almost time for his shot and she'll be back in a moment. She gives you all a curtsy and then she leaves. You are alone in the room with Bruce Ismay.
Is there a couch or a place that we can just sit and just be still?
Oh, sure. There's leather couches, there's leather chairs, whatever you wish. There's the chair you fell asleep in.
I want everybody. Let's all sit down for a minute and just wait. Tell me if you smell sea salt. Just
Robin keeps her eyes on Ismay. I mean, he's just totally zoned out land the entire time now. He just had this.
Yep, just staring
Moment.
up at the sinking picture, muttering to himself. The grandfather clock in the corner strikes 7 and makes you all jump because you've been waiting to see something. It rings off 7 o'clock. A few minutes later, the door is opened by the footman, and Hyacinth comes in. Plain Jane, hands clutched together, does have a book under one arm, walking into her execution, eyes looking for a way out. Yes.
I stand up and I bow to her and I said, thank you for joining us. What do you think of when I say the word snicker snack?
Her face lights up and she actually moves toward you with a little bit of speed and says, "Are you a literary man?"
I have my moments.
Excellent. Are you a fan of Mr. Carroll?
Carol, that's it. I had the word Jabberwock in my head.
It's actually Jabberwocky, and she turns and walks to a bookshelf, pulls down a red leather-bound tome. It's not very thick. Brings it back, flips it open. It's a delightful poem, pure nonsense, but very entertaining.
Can you read it for us?
Certainly. "'Twas brillig and the slothy troves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves and the mome raths outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jubjub bird and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manxome phone he sought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree and stood a while in thought. And as if in oofish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame came whiffling through the tulgey wood and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. O frabjous day, calloo callay, he chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome raths outgrabe. She says, isn't it wonderful?
It hurts me to try and put all that together, but it thank you. That's exactly what I was looking for. I didn't have quite a grasp on what it was.
So many scholars, so many literary minds have tried to pick that poem apart, and I think that Carol is somewhere in the next life just laughing at their ridiculous attempts to make sense out of nonsense.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, listen to me going on.
well,
She suddenly seems to catch herself.
that's you're just fine. You're just fine. That's all we asked. I figured that you would be one who would know. Well, we were
She
told that
hands
you
you
were.
the book. Enjoy it while you're here.
I think I will. Thank you. Does she
He
stick
goes
around,
over
or
and
she?
she goes over to Ismay and kisses him on the cheek. Grandpapa, are you joining us for dinner? She turns and leaves.
That poem is better in the original Gallic.
The nurse comes back in with a small snap leather case, opens it up, pulls a hypodermic out, rubs some alcohol on the old man's love handle, thump, hits him with it. Quite a bit of amber liquid goes into him. He twitches a bit. She tucks away the hypodermic and says, "If you won't be eating, then we'll retire, sir." As she wheels him out of the room, he turns and looks at the four of you with very clear eyes and just points a finger and says in a gravelly voice, "Don't fail us." And then he gets glassy and distant again, and she wheels him out of the library.
I wonder if there is anything that would. I hand the book to Blanca. Then I think better of it and say, Bjorn, maybe you should do some research.
He looks at it, tosses it back to you. It's in Cornish.
Hand it over to Blanca.
Peel it back.
Wow, it looks just like something one of half a dozen headmistresses ordered you to read, and you crossed your arms and tapped your foot and refused.
I remember seeing the front page and the back page.
Right, bullshitting their way through an oral dissertation.
Mm-hmm. With a little bit of charm, they believe that I read it.
Right. You sounded something like Ismay.
I will hang on to the book. I do respect the quality and craftsmanship of the binding and the author himself.
What year?
It's
What
a
year is that
beautiful
published?
book.
What year
What's
was
that?
that published?
She's asking Blanca.
I turn to the inside cover and look for the publication date.
Well, let's just find that out.
In this verse,
Yeah, in this verse.
1871.
Okay.
So a little over 60 years ago.
it's just off the bestseller list.
Yeah.
That's why it made the reading program. Damn it.
Well, if it does go here and there and everywhere in whatever creature you decide to put that blade in, I think we've got the weapon of choice.
In the reading of the poem, I heard a lot. I worry that nonsense becomes the sense we need in order to finish this.
I think anything more, it really is just, it is a blade built to destroy a creature, or maybe fairy kind. I don't know which.
Right. And I don't know if it sounded only nonsense to me or not, but it makes me think that being able to truly see clearly would be vital, maybe as well.
We have the vision of the true seeing glasses, but they are limited in their magical offering to 3 viewings. I still don't understand how long that might last, but it will give us a clear view when we need it.
Well, that means that our good friend Bjorn here is going to be equipped with 2 magical items. Do you want anything else, Bjorn?
Yeah, a wounding glyph for the Yeti.
That's later.
Just
that comes
stop.
later.
Just
In
stop.
fact,
You are holding Excalibur in your hand, and you're going to look so dapper wearing these glasses on the bridge of your nose so that you can look up to make sure you see something.
and honestly, maybe I should be holding the Yeti even if I don't have nearly the capacity to actually point and pull the trigger.
You've seen what happens when he pulls the trigger.
He gives you a belly laugh and lays a paw on your shoulder. You are always the jokester.
Robin's feeling his arm quietly.
I think that you can do a pretty. I mean, I'm not exactly kidding. Unless.
Benny, have you ever dislocated your shoulder?
Oh yes.
And then have someone put it back in? How
So
did that feel?
it is horrible. It is horrible, but I mean, maybe Robin's got it. She's got a little more.
We probably have the same build.
I've seen her closet. You're not.
You
looking.
don't need to admit to that.
Oh,
No, I think I've taken him in arm wrestling once over drinks.
taken me.
Oh, the humiliation just is heaped upon you.
That's
I
fine.
love you, Benny.
I'll just go over here and talk to people all
What
day
are we
long.
doing? Are we dining or are we
You
We said we were
know,
going to eat before we left.
solving the problem?
I think that we should actually just
Well, we should.
top off right now and solve the problem. Personally,
That's good, but let's also one other thing. So maybe we also break up some of these other items we talked about. And I don't know, but was there toadstool wine?
there was a wine of sorts. I would not drink toadstool wine. Toadstools are
wouldn't want to
poisonous
either.
generally.
I didn't remember if there was something that Blanca said about that. Do you remember what that?
They're in the gift bag that you guys received from the
Oh, yes.
Sealy.
Right, mint leaves, nuts, pink berries, the spectacles, and I also remember a toadstool wine, but I don't remember us discussing the toadstool wine.
It's the only wine
Yeah.
I need right now.
Mint leaves, almonds, pink berries, and the glasses or spectacles. Yeah, I don't have anything here relating to toadstool wine. If you're just looking for a really small glass, Banny mentioned something about walking through a mouse hole in the wall.
So this came from doing the reviewing that there was a mention of toadstool wine, and we just never recaptured on it. So we can either retcon it or it does exist. John's call.
John thinks you should probably take better notes. That's what he thinks.
I did, but we didn't actually identify what it did. We know everything else.
Didn't identify what did.
Toadstool wine. Check the 3x5 cards.
So I would suggest that we all meet in the servants' quarters. Not quarters, the kitchen. I really enjoyed the meal we had there last time. And let's top off and leave before dinner.
But
What did you want?
Do you want to say anything to Constance before we go? Do you want... I personally, I would rather just either let them suffer the wave that happens after we fail, or come back with the head and put it on the dinner table when we succeed.
Bjorn asks you if you are a closet Viking.
Sometimes I try.
Or just in the closet.
you do have a flair for drama, Mr. Elkin.
Very big flair for drama.
Putting it on the
That comes
table is
from
probably
hanging out
better.
with you, Blanca.
What?
That comes from hanging out with you, Blanca.
No.
I have to
Yes.
keep up with her somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Moody is not drama. It's just moody.
Well, there have been some drama moments.
Do the four of you make your way down to the servants' quarters?
Yes.
Yeah.
If we're going to get a preview of what's to be served at dinner, then yes.
The
I-
servants do not eat what the household eats.
Right. This would be like
Yeah.
quality stick to
I-
Yes,
magnetia.
dinner is served at 8, and I'm sure it is in the making, and I will sample what is to be had.
Oh, it definitely is in the making.
Before, actually, as we start heading down, I'm going to pull Blanca back and say, I'll catch up with everybody else.
Where are you going?
Where are we going? I need to go get the booze from the
Oh.
study.
I thought you were going to go to the attic.
Not the attic. I would not go to the attic by myself. Attic.
Okay.
You slow down and pull me back. What?
Yeah. I say, let's do a quick visit. I got the bottle. Walk over to the suit of armor and knock on the door.
Fold my arms. Totally disrespecting this delusion. People
You
will
do
have.
see a tiny little door set into the baseboard.
I've
And you see
seen.
that there's a tiny saucer outside of it that doesn't hold anything.
What is he doing?
What's feeding rodents?
Benny
Right.
taps on the door, and the door opens, and a little bit of lamplight comes out, and you see a tiny little man with a nose half as tall as he is, in a top hat, dressed in a coat and tails. He peeks out. Oh, Benny, you brought friends.
I brought one friend.
What?
Come inside.
Come on. I
What?
walk towards it.
What?
You see Benny vanish.
Oh no, not alone. Not while I'm here. Move closer.
You get close. You hear laughter now coming from inside, and you
Oh.
hear a dog bark.
Reach my hand through the little door, or peek down if I could.
You are inside. You are inside the walls. You see the horizontal plaster lathing just disappears up into the darkness. You see what might be a servant button wire running down one wall. There's a table made out of a spool, a couple of homemade couches, a little writing desk, tiny little trunk, a bulldog the size of you, and this little man who's now the same size as the two of you. He takes off his hat. I am Bixby. This is Barnabas. He walks over and takes your hand and kisses it.
Let him.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Miss
Bess. Miss
Bess.
Bess.
Won't you have a seat?
We can't be here for long.
Wander over, feel for the seat, not taking my eyes off of the situation, and just drop down.
I'm
It's
gonna-
a little dusty, and you hear like scritching, scrabbling from up in the darkness up above you.
Did rats give you any trouble?
Is this an interdimensional space? What? Where, Benny? Where are we?
I pour a little. Do you have a glass?
Of
Look
course,
around.
He brings out three.
We just have enough
Your
time.
bottle is
for-
perfectly sized now.
Yeah. Have just enough for a toast. Enough time.
He sits down and ignores your toast and looks at Blanca. You asked a question, dear heart, did you not?
Yes, but now I forget it because
You wish to know where you were. Home of Bixby. I'm a Cornish knocker. I am
is
not.
that a title or a race?
It's what I am. I'm Fey, but specifically, I'm a Cornish knocker from Cornwall. I do not belong in Magnetia. Not a bit.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
But he doesn't have a Magnetian accent. It's quite quite proper Icenium. This is one night I fell asleep in someone's steamer trunk. Who knew it was Bruce Ismay's? And who knew it was the night before he would come to Drachenfels to retire for the rest of his life? I'm not very welcome here because I'm not Tyr. But here I am, just Barnabas and I.
How did Barnabas come to be in your company?
Barnabas has always been with me. He's my constant companion, aren't you, Barnabas? Oof.
He traveled in the sea chest or trunk or luggage with you?
Yes.
Barnabas?
It walks over and gives you a big old bulldog lick.
Oh.
But it smells a whole lot like booze, the dog lick and the dog breath.
Look at the bottle. Did it shrink?
Yeah, it's normal size for 3 grown people.
Can you serve from outside and bring it inside and save proportions?
If you serve it outside, then it's a tremendous proportion for me. Sometimes I can maneuver a shot glass through the door, but I prefer to go out and drink it in the hall. There's ever so much more.
Do the effects change as your relativity changes?
I suppose effects affect us differently.
I'm sorry. I'm still taking this all in. I'm used to the
Try not
unusual.
to affect any affectations.
This is not your first time here, Banny.
I smile at her.
Banny, you've come for more questions, haven't you?
Nope. I have come for you to wish me well. Wish us well.
And that I do.
Well, there we go. We are on our way to do a little work. And that is to release the bonds of this manor from the adjacent fairies that live in the forest.
Oh, then you know all about it.
Unless you've got more information, I'm fine. Hey,
Bixby looks over at Blanca. It is a fool that passes on wisdom.
unless the fool doesn't know what questions to ask in the first place.
Passing on wisdom and passing on wisdom are 2 different things, depending on where you place the comma.
Agreed. And commas are quite important, such as, let's eat grandma versus, let's eat grandma.
I've seen that happen both ways.
Take a deep draw. I know we're going to combat later, but I'm going to need the mood adjustment.
Okay, I do have a question. My friend Bixby, what's in the attic?
A whisperer.
Okay, so the whisper...
It's the manifestation of a child. Back when an Alamanian nobleman of some sort lived here, he had a child that was slower than most. And rather than endure the embarrassment, he chained her away in the attic, and she perished a sad and lonely death. And now her spirit lives on as a whisperer.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, whisperers believe that whatever living beings are around them are the source of their torment and agony. And the only thing that will end their agony is destruction. Quite a sad tale. But not the whisperer's fault. Of course, that doesn't mean much when there's a dead child in a nursery, but I go on and on.
Is there a dead child in the nursery now?
Not yet.
Okay, that's
but
what.
If the dolls have their way.
Wait, the dolls are animated? Do they?
I don't know how many, but there's at least one bad egg in the bunch.
You got to be. What in this house is not bent on the destruction of its occupants? It's just.
Bixby and Barnabas.
Oh, that is true. That is true. Is there any way to release Bruce from his torment, or is it just in his head? Is he gone from us?
Oh, Master Ismay. He will not be released from his torment, and I fear that not even death will spare him. I believe that his guilt is so deep that he will continue to roam this house forevermore.
Would not be surprised with.
Unless the great ship could someday be found and a blessing placed on it, then perhaps there could be peace for all involved.
This household is under the curse of his regret. How do we release it?
The curse of the house is not with Ismay. Maddoc has planted his flag and brought our worlds close together. Now, there are who are always about, and that is the nature of the land. And there are beings that are always about, and that is the nature of darkness. But the Fae that come from under the hill are here because the worlds have been brought close together. And this has caused numerous problems. Maeve will not interfere.
Master Bixby,
Yes,
if we call upon those tormented souls that live upon this property to aid us, or at least to interject their natural state, might we expect someone like Red Mary or the Blue Lady to see our villains as their villains?
the Blue Lady sees only her past. That is all that exists for her. And anyone that she harms in the meantime is incidental and unintentional. She does not know that she is passed on. All she knows is grief and tragedy. She can't help. Red Mary would sooner feed upon you than help you, for that is her nature. Unfortunately, the other dwellers of the estate, Gentle Annie might be controlled by Maeve, but she's being disobedient, and she wants the children, except, of course, for Abigail. Abigail's under the hill, but I think you knew that.
Yeah, we discovered that.
She mostly wants the young one, the babe.
Well, unfortunately, Gentle Annie's probably going to be rocked to sleep.
That would be wonderful. She's terrifying.
She sounds terrifying. However, of the plethora of malevolence that knocking on the door of this manor, she's probably just one of them.
They're all terrifying to me, but I'm a Cornish knock.
So your interactions with the denizens of this household and the extended staff and buffoonery, we go to face Maddoc in the ruins. Have you any advice for us?
Oh, yes.
You know, I should not have excluded my companions from this. I was just coming in for a toast. I will be back.
Then you and I shall speak.
So,
that is a very unique breed of hound.
Yes, I think that he wears his bowler and his vest quite well.
The vest is very well pressed. Do you keep his laundry?
There's no need. He keeps himself just fine.
How is he to do such a deed? Is he a magical beast?
Well, he's Fae.
Ah, yes, I've heard that as a blanket statement for all the unexplained things that happen here.
Yes, I think that as far as Fae go, we're rather well turned out. You don't see us wearing bean sprouts for loincloths and oak leaves for headwear.
Indeed.
I defy any suit on Saville Row to look as fine as we.
You have
You
presented
haven't
yourself in such.
spoken to any black rabbits, have you?
Who would ask such a question, expecting what answer?
A fae would ask such a question?
And what answer would a fae expect?
I would expect that if you were intelligent, you would say, no, I would never speak to a black rabbit.
And then I would respond in kind and remind you that that is good nature and a welcome response.
You're rather slippery, young lady. I like that.
Well, I find myself diminutive in this moment, and my thoughts are smaller.
Your thoughts are still of massive size. Would you like some cheese?
I would accept cheese from you, absolutely.
He brings out a plate with some fairly noxious cheese on it. You recognize that the stinkier it is, probably the better. It's supposedly in good company.
I have learned to eat stinky cheese as a part of my station and office in life. It doesn't mean I like it, but I understand that it makes me feel elevated, and I proceed to dine.
Perhaps you would like something more fitting of your station, some quail tongue, some truffles with saffron, Cornish hen with rosemary.
I hold up my empty tumbler. No,
Oh,
just a refill.
you prefer grain. Very well. Robin, you and Bjorn are cooling your heels in a corridor, wondering where the two schemers have gone.
Yeah,
Um,
that's about right. Robin's basically like, perched back against the wall, arms folded, one hand draped on the hilt, on the holster of the pistol, looking in the direction where she thought she saw them a minute ago.
Bjorn is amused that none of the passing servants even blink at the fact that he's standing there holding a centuries-old claymore that should be mounted over the fireplace.
Who's going to ask anything?
From behind the suit of armor, where he had no business hiding, steps Banny.
I thought you guys had already gone down to eat, but you should come here. Come
To the suit of armor?
here. I need to show you something.
Bjorn lumbers over with you.
I put a hand on Bjorn's shoulder and say, I don't know, you can join us if you'd like. It's very, very nice. But I would understand if you didn't want to do this.
What is very nice?
Robin, go and look down there. Do you see the little opening behind the suit of armor?
There's a mouse hole with a door. Yes.
Can you reach out and see if you can close that door?
She gives you a look like, really?
Yeah, just go ahead.
She bends down and attempts to close the door.
And you are inside the wall with Blanca and a bulldog and a strange little man.
Oh, fuck me.
Bjorn sees this and starts muttering in Gutnish and starts repeating the word Folkniel, which you've heard him say many times, and he begins to back away.
We're having drinks if you want one.
Do I need to burn down the mansion to get you out?
No, this one's come and go as you please.
I stay here.
He has a fantastic dog. You should probably meet it.
Is it fit for a fireplace?
It's bigger, so it probably wouldn't fit in a fireplace, but bigger in the sense of when you see it face to face, that means it's as big. It's half as big as you.
Bigger makes a better meal. I wait here.
Okay. We'll be out shortly.
You know that you risk your soul, that Odin may deny you entry.
Yeah, well, considering all the other gods I get to choose, well, we'll see how that goes. I walk over to the door and walk into it.
No, you're in the wall. Bixby is absolutely delighted, walks over to Robin and tries to take your hand.
She's still bent forward like she was. She's looking like she's.
You don't need to crouch. Plenty of space up above. And then you look up, there's quite a bit of space. There's also a pair of red eyes looking down at you from the darkness above.
What the?
Bixby, field mice, they will not hurt you.
Uh-huh. Looks at Blanca. Are we here? I mean, what is here?
You're in the walls.
Reach for an empty glass and fill it 2 fingers deep. We're preparing for battle. Enjoy.
Oh dear, Bixby frowns. You are going to battle Maddoc?
Yes.
You know who Maddoc is, yes?
I know he needs to go away. I don't know what he is.
He is the consort to the Queen of Silence and Darkness.
Yeah,
He
not the
has-
king, just the consort.
King of the Redcaps.
Oh, okay. He is a king of something.
So I'm to spill a bucket of blood and turn 3 times in a circle in order to dispatch him? What does it mean?
If you come across a bucket of blood, turn it over and turn 3 times. And the one who created the bucket will not know who you are or who spilled his bucket and will temporarily not be able to see you. What a redcap does is he bleeds a victim into a container, and then he soaks his hat in it, and it gives him tremendous power, especially healing power.
Mm.
If you can deny one of them their cap, perhaps you'd have a chance.
Oh, so that's... You said that it was nailed to his head? That would make sense.
That's one way to keep it.
Yeah.
That's very covetous and a little self-injurious.
Yeah, but if you're...
But I guess if it heals him, then he doesn't care.
It probably still hurts. Have you ever had a nail in you and healed around it? It sounds very unpleasant.
I don't see you as a errant carpenter, Banny, but do tell.
What?
They did some things to the Herod God. That was torture.
So the Herod God was a redcap?
No.
You have not made any bargains or agreements since you've been here, have you?
Only 3.
Many. At this point, many, but let's just stick
3
to...
is a very, very powerful number among the Fae.
Well, those were only to Maeve. We've made many others outside of that.
Is there a free chair?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Robin will just try to find the chair and at least sit on the
You've
arm.
made pacts with the Queen of Darkness. And
Pacts?
Silence.
I wouldn't say pacts. Agreements about
What agreements have you made? He
things.
pours himself a big ass glass.
I look
and then
at...
he pours another one for the dog.
Does it actually hold the glass?
No, it just laps it out of the top and then licks all around the floor where it
It's
spills.
I still wonder how he does his laundry.
drunk dogs. Love it.
It's Fey magic.
I look at Blanca and I say, by the way, Bjorn will not come in. Just so you know. I turn to Bixby and say, we have made an agreement to dispatch Maddox, her daughter, and the champion.
Small things, really. I mean,
The champion?
I know we are in...
You
Wait.
agreed to destroy Jack and Irons?
Jack and Irons.
Tell me more about that. Who is...
He's a massive giant who collects human heads and drapes himself in portcullis chain. He's undefeatable.
we need to bring Bjorn in that because they would be friends. They would be
When
friends.
makes the ground tremble when he walks, he can uproot trees and swing them like clubs.
We
Why
have
would
the
he
sword
do such a thing?
of Arthur, which could slay any man, or even a giant.
Arthur's sword is a myth. Even the Fae know that. And if it wasn't a myth, the Lady of the Lake would never release it.
Well, she just did.
You know, it could be a copy. You know, it could
You-
be.
Blanca heard the voice,
Yeah, it was channeled
and
through.
she's part Fae. So
Yes,
there.
I can tell. I can smell it on her.
So drink to that.
And you agreed to slay Maeve's daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, she's just a willful nymph. If you can actually get a hold of her, that shouldn't be difficult.
Well,
Maddoc may be a different story. So, what do you know of redcaps?
all I know is what I've heard from Blanca.
They slayed one.
They are.
Your knowledge is not deep. It is shallow like a pool of tears.
Like
You
my
slayed a
glasses
red
right
cap?
now.
Yes, the two of you did.
Well, her and Bjorn.
I meant yes, her and Bjorn. Can I have some more?
Force for you.
I'm gonna need this.
We're all
Says
gonna need it.
redcaps are evil through and through. Once they begin attacking, they do not stop. But they can be held at bay. You must be pure of heart and a true believer.
I look
In
at the two girls and I.
And what?
Yeah, true believer in what?
In faith. Do you have faith?
She reaches under her blouse and pulls out Saint Pierre from the Herald God. In my
I'm not
faith,
familiar with that, but is that a holy object to you?
it is. It is from my maman.
If you present it to a redcap with the proper faith behind it, you could keep them at bay. But beware, when you keep one redcap at bay, another may come at you from behind. They travel in packs. Only Maddoc can call them off. But Maddoc is not a fool, and Maddoc is a gentleman. He's ruthless, but he might be bargained with or reasoned with. I
Do you
don't know
think
what
that-
you could possibly have that he would want, but if you do have this wondrous sword of legend, beware that that's not what he wants.
It'd probably harm him even by touch. So I wouldn't expect.
Would it even matter that Maeve has sought to dispatch him or to attempt to do so?
that. She just didn't
Or
care.
it's a joke?
Is that what she said?
She didn't. We didn't have to eliminate Maddoc.
What did she give you in return for these bargains that you made?
Oh, he has that. Points out towards the doorway.
Oh no. The bargains themselves were
What do you
basically
get in return for these three bargains?
A wooden box?
no.
No, that didn't happen?
That was something else.
Oh.
But the wooden box is
You were
that
given a box?
there is a box.
Mhm.
We were told that it contained something that Maddox wanted, or it was to be used against him.
I don't think he wants it.
Dead
But he's going
kings
to
in
get it.
clover deep in the dark. Open the box to tear out his heart. Stand by with a blade. I think we know what that is. Lest the mortal be slayed.
Or it's like if he
Yeah.
gets uppity after we've opened the box, then we use the blade. You want more?
Do you have
Please,
this
sir.
box?
Can I have more?
Who actually has the box?
Bjorn here, isn't he? No? Or do you?
I gave it to Bjorn so that he could carry it.
And it's wrapped up tight. right now, because we have a feeling that whatever is in the box or is the box itself,
I mean, there's just a silver catch on it. There's nothing's going to. Yes.
yeah, and we didn't want it to accidentally, flop open for whatever
And
reason.
who gave you this box?
This was the you had it before you came into the realm that I was in. It was from the Sealy Court.
Ah,
Who's the queen over there? You had the pleasure of meeting her. I did not.
The Queen of Light and Laughter, of course.
Yes, the Queen of Light and Laughter.
she
But-
gave us all these gifts.
Yeah, and we didn't. You guys didn't make deals with her, did you? We only made with the most dire of the bunch.
And tell me
Probably we have
again,
great judgment.
what are you receiving other than a box?
Well, we have. They received a bunch of gifts.
We received mint leaves and almonds and pink berries and a pair of glasses to help us see true.
And toadstool
Fairy
wine.
trinkets. Did you receive any? What did you get in return for your bargains? Not fairy trinkets in a wooden box.
A release of this realm from the fairy realm so that they might separate one another.
The first world and our world
That
unbind.
is not Maeve's power to give.
Yeah.
Well, she said it was a result of Maddox being removed. We
If you
didn't
remove
really.
Maddoc, then that would disconnect
We
them.
didn't really
That is-
make a
that is
deal.
possible.
We didn't really make a deal around that. That
What
was
else?
the other two was fair to fair.
Well, if you kill
Fair
the
enough.
champion, then Abigail will be freed, right?
Yeah, kill the champion. Abigail will be freed. Kill
We'll
the
probably live up to that.
uh,
Not a fool there.
Bear Derg is if we
Kill the nymph.
slay the nymph, then the Fair Derg will relent on Constance.
Oh, that's just a complete lie.
Oh,
She
I
will
feel
never
better
call
already.
off- She will never call off the Fair Derg, and if she tried, the Fair Derg would not obey.
Interesting.
She wouldn't obey her queen?
Fair Dergs, they serve themselves and nothing else. They are servants of convenience. You will have to kill it.
How do we lure it out? How do we take advantage of its disgusting ways and trap
Robin
it?
starts patting Banny obscenely on the groin. You know exactly how to.
Slap her hand away. Come on. Not mine.
Oh, you want to use Bjorn's? Because he'll
It's
just
my-
kill it.
Yeah. That would be a sight. Gross.
I think he promised that he was going to kill her anyway. I mean, it was
No,
Bjorn.
so then her desire to for us to slay her daughter, the nymph.
Right.
I don't necessarily have anything against Fee, Fi, Fo,
Thea.
Fia.
Yeah.
I don't have anything against her, like I said, but she offered nothing in return, and she did not do that in good faith. That's troublesome. However, Fia will not be welcome back in that kingdom, so she's pretty much stranded.
Well, to answer your question, the Fair Derg are tricksters, and they innately know your deepest desire. And they will use illusions to facilitate it, but they are greedy and they covet humans. And it has laid its sights upon your Constance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To lure it, you will have to turn its own dark nature against it. I don't know how you would do such a thing, but it seems to me that the best bait you have is the Lady Constance.
Constance herself. But it is a creature that can move between worlds very easily, I'm assuming.
And quickly.
And
They are terribly, terribly fast.
are they resilient? Can they be slain with,
Cold iron.
well, subtlety and, basically catching it unawares.
Cold iron and silver are your best bets for slaying the Fae.
Well, if we open the door, we best be able to shut it. So in other words, if we're going to use Constance as bait, we will have to end the thing quickly and be able to follow through on that promise. And I honestly think we need to deal with Maddoc first.
I am merely a knocker, and I can be of no assistance in your strategic planning, for I know nothing of warfare.
It's fine. Knowledge that you've given us is incredible. Is there anything about the ruins that we should be aware of? Or is Gentle Annie, does she live in the bogs?
I don't know of what box you speak. If I saw it.
Bogs. Sorry.
Bogs.
Well, the bogs. No. The hags live in the bogs as well as a catoblepus, I think.
Are hags fae or they're not?
They are distant relatives, but they dwell on the prime material plane always. They don't wish to be controlled by the courts, and so long ago they emigrated. But there are 3 in Coolybog, sisters. One is worse than the next.
Oh, and you never know which one you're dealing with, so they're all worse.
And guaranteed, if you're dealing with one, the other 2 are creeping up from behind.
So, would it be in their best interest if they knew of our struggle against the Fae, since the Fae seem to want to make landfall in prime material?
I think they would care not. What is in their best interest is if they can snatch an unwary child walking too closely to the bank.
They don't visit the manor, do they? Have they visited the manor to inspect the content?
No, hags never stray far from their bog. Not those hags, anyway. Gentle Annie, perhaps.
Gentle Annie, is she considered a hag, or is she just a...
Oh, well, some think she is a giantess. Some think she is a hag.
Interesting. So she's very large, then.
Indeed, and frightening. Truly frightening. But I can tell you something about her that could be of use.
That?
Where is this Gentle Annie?
She's a creep. Well, I've only heard it from Bixby himself, but...
I don't know if this will help you at all. But you can find her lair by the dried skins of children hanging outside of it. And if you tie a dead cat to a rope and drag it back and forth before her lair during the spring equinox, it will trap her inside for a year.
That is entirely unhelpful. If we're just trying to eliminate her, does she die like the rest?
I've never heard of an Annis being killed, but I've never heard of anyone courageous enough to fight an Annis.
Oh, wait. So Gentle Annie is the Annis. Yes, of course. That's why I'm interested in the children.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And if she is on the estate, she will be coveting those children, except, of course, for the changeling.
Dried skin of dead children? I mean...
Where are you going to just find that at this hour?
I would expect at this hour. She would be the one posting the signs. It's not us. We will deal with that in due time. There's other things. But
beware. If she even suspects that you are hunting her, she will hunt you first, and she attacks from surprise. Do you have your cold iron and silver?
I need to... What do you have on hand? I say we arm Constance with a silver dagger immediately, for one.
Wish I had one.
Well, I'm sure that there's plenty of opulence around here. Even a kitchen knife would probably do in this place, considering the silverware. Um, uh, Sharpened kitchen knife. That sounds fun. Anyway, we will make do. We will find a way. That let me gather the box and bring it to you for inspection. Would that help with understanding what that is?
Perhaps. But I
I
will not open it unless you say it is all right.
I dare not open it. It does not seem like a thing to open.
No,
I
not unless you have the blade to defeat what comes out of it.
Well, I don't know. I'll be back. I step over to the door, step out into the hall.
And scare the living shit out of the Viking. Why do you do this?
Why don't you just come in? We're just having a conversation. We've learned all these things about.
You can tell me later. I will not participate in the folk meal.
Okay. Do you have the box that you received from? I look around the hallway. You know, the place.
Yeah. He pulls out the wooden box. It's still got his leather rawhide strap tying it shut. He hands it to you.
I'll take it. Just a bit, okay? Just a minute. I walk back over, lean down, and touch.
Robin is engaged with.
Do I hear
Master
cursing
Bixby
when that
and trying to
happens?
Absolutely. You hear cursing goodness out in the hallway. It sounds thunderous considering you're only this tall.
My poor little ears.
Good night, buddy. Are you going to put my pillow downstairs? You're the best. Love you. Being good for Mama?
Yeah.
Okay. Enjoy your
I'm about to
evening.
go to bed.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
So now inside the walls, the box is still only a little bit smaller than a hardback book.
Can Master Bixby explain Robin's dream? That's all that she wanted to know once he was gone.
What was your
Perhaps
dream?
You should have talked to the Norn if you wanted a fortune.
Strange. Oh, Banny's back.
So you have just a plain wooden box with a little carving on it, a simple little silver catch without a lock, and a single some kind of artistic or inscription on the lid.
Oh, that's right. I couldn't understand. Oh, that was
There's a rune.
Yeah, but it was also in Roundstone, the place where what is the beverage? Tegan.
Here?
Old Tegan.
Old Tegan. I walk up to Bixby and I show him the box.
He looks at it and his little knocker eyes get huge. He takes the box from you and says, Barnabas. And Barnabas comes over and he puts it on the floor and Barnabas sits on it.
Oh.
Okay. Is this a thing?
Would you like another drink?
Well,
What was that?
is this
Well, this
something
was.
we're going to use that box? Whatever's in that box is something we're going to use.
Why would you use that box?
Tell me what's in the box. What's in the box?
What's in the
box? He says, I think what is in the box is the word that is inscribed in Fey on the lid.
Well, far be it from me to be able to translate Fey, but I don't know what it says. What is that inscription?
For you to say what it says?
He takes off his hat. He's beaded up quite a sweat, pulls out a silk handkerchief, mops it off, puts his hat back on. If you value me as a friend or value my words, never, ever, ever open this box, no matter how desperate things become. Because sometimes death is preferable.
Okay, but that doesn't explain at all. We've been given this box specifically to eliminate Maddox.
I mean,
Is
Master
that what you were
Bixby.
told?
Oh.
Yes, Master Bixby, that this was part of this open the box to tear out his heart. We assume his heart would be Maddoc.
That's an interesting word you just used.
To tear out
Heart?
his heart?
No. Assume.
Mhm.
Oh.
Who gave you this box?
Was it the Queen of
I
Light
still
and
thought it was
Laughter?
the Queen. I still thought it was the Queen of Darkness.
Really? I don't, because no, she did give it to us because she gave us two things. She gave us the box, but the Queen of Light and Laughter gave us the poem. You had the poem when you met me.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what the poem was about or where it came from or anything like
The
that.
poem came from fate. It
Oh,
came
it was
from
fate.
fortune that was, yes. That is where the poem came from.
What else do I not know that you experienced while I was quivering in my loins in a dusty, dirty, dangerous looking wood? I mean,
Would you prefer to be tied up next time? No, what I mean is
it kind of
this
was.
was from the Sealy court, not from the unsealy court. That is where this Lady Fate was.
So Lady Fate was, yeah, I know. I wasn't there. I never got to visit the nice side of the nice side of hell, I guess. I felt
Under
like
the
hell.
hill.
Well,
Just
under the hell. Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Under the
anything
hell.
below the earth is considered hell at some point, right?
Right. Yeah.
Well,
No, you're right. So the poem came from there, and to Master Bixby's point, yes, an assumption made. I mean, what else would it be to tear out his heart? The champion? In either case, something very powerful.
King
Where
in Clover. The King in
Dead
Clover.
kings in clover. In
Dead
the dark.
Kings in Clover.
Mm-hmm.
That is where we would open the box, wherever that was.
To tear out his heart, yes. Yes. And stand by with the blade.
The blade.
Right.
To
Lest the mortal world be slain.
Oh, good God! I didn't remember that part.
Which to me made it make sense that it would be Maddoc, because Maddoc is the one who wishes to essentially destroy our world.
So we're in a situation where if we open the box and don't pay mind,
if we don't deal with what comes out of the box, I think to tear out the heart of Maddoc, or maybe not Maddoc,
lest the world be slayed.
We will be slayed by then what it is that we unleash from the box.
Oh my God! The lest the mortal world be slayed. Okay.
She said it with more of a lilt, but yes.
Yeah. Well, it sounds adorable whenever it comes out of the tearish tongue, but man, that adds a little more gravity to the things we're holding right now.
Right. Well, that's why we needed to make sure we found the weapon. I get the feeling whether it's the champion or Maddoc, or maybe we're just wrong about that, but whatever it is that the box is supposed to help us destroy, then we must be able to destroy that. And I think about the vision Bjorn had of something dragon-like then being descended upon by an even greater dragon. It makes me think of that.
I tend to agree. Putting all of those things together, but good God, talk about over-rotating. I mean,
Over-rotating?
Basically,
I'm thinking more like apocalypse.
So
he starts collecting your glasses. It's been lovely. I need my sleep.
I walk over and I say, Barnabas, get up. I take it. This is mine, and I am going to do with it as we see fit, but it will be under our control.
Barnabas gets up, makes a moan that only bulldogs can make, waddles away, and Bixby says, I beg you, let me hold on to it. Let me hide it for you.
No,
Do you
Big-
not know what that says?
I don't. Just read it for me. Tell me what I'm holding right now, because if it means the end of, if I'm using a weapon to destroy this Maddox
This
character.
is the Fey word for apocalypse.
Oh, God damn it.
Oh, apocalypse is fitting. Oh, good. Good rotation.
So we use the apocalypse to destroy Maddox, and then we wait. We kill the thing that comes out of it. But at the same time, if we just kill Maddox, then we can just leave this packed up and sealed somewhere. What would Maeve want in particular with this? Is this something she just wants to unleash on the mortal realm just for fun? Or is this...
It is likely just for her personal amusement. For the Fey world will not be affected, and she cares nothing for the mortal worlds.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
She likes forests, though, right? Would the forest be preserved if this happens? Never mind. I'll just say that we were duped, but in any case, this does need to find a place that's secured and locked away.
But Benny, it's not the words of anything in the Queen of Darkness. I mean, Blanca was there with me when it was the Aldafra. Fate is the one who used this prophecy with us regarding the box.
You seem to chew on that word fate really, like you just don't like it. I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. Tui.
Are you certain you don't wish to leave the box in my care?
No, the box
If you
isn't.
survive your trials and tribulations, it will be waiting right here for you. I promise you I won't open it.
That is fine.
What could be safer than inside the walls?
I don't know. I look up at the rats. We'll take care of this. And the world will stay intact. Everything will be fine.
May I ask a favor of you
This isn't like one of
in
these.
return for the knowledge I have given you?
What is that favor?
If you leave this island, can you return me to Icinia?
Absolutely. Where do you want to
Perhaps
live?
even Cornwall? I
That
do not
would.
wish to spend the rest of my days, however short, dark, and horrific they may be if you open the box, in a foreign land. That is all I ask. And Barnabas, too.
Absolutely. It would go
And
both ways.
a case or two of Old Tegan.
If we can smuggle it out. Hey, I
And
met the
some-
leprechaun who makes it.
And some silver. Quite a bit of silver. Yes.
I think we might be going a little too far with this, but we'll see what we can do. Maybe they'll sponsor us with some silverware. You have your pick then.
Well, it has been a pleasure to meet you all.
Yeah, I wish you could say hi to the big guy outside, but probably best that we don't try to force that.
Thank you for your hospitality, Bixby. Barnabas.
My pleasure. I wish you well.
Master Bixby, very proud
I
man.
wish I could be of more help.
Well, that was
He looks genuinely flustered.
More things add up thanks to you, even if the answer is infinity.
Please don't open the box.
yeah. Well, I'm understanding that now. Okay. Well,
Robin follows someone else out.
The three of you take your leave of Bixby and Barnabas. You appear back in the hallway. Bjorn suggests that the time is approaching. If you want to get some food down in the servants' commons, you probably can. Is there anything else we need to know that you learned in your evil magical hole in the wall?
this box will end the world
Yes.
Ragnarok in a single box.
in a single box.
In a single box.
Brilliant.
I don't know
But
what
your
you guys.
sword maybe stops it. We don't know.
Yeah, if we were to use one thing to defeat another thing, and then that other thing got out of control, bad things happen.
That is the stuff of Norse legend.
You would be wielding the sword that's supposed to put it to rest.
You see that he is envisioning the tales that would be told about him for centuries to come.
If you would have joined us, you could have heard all this firsthand.
I don't go into evil black magic holes in the walls.
It's fine. That's fine. This, the other thing is, we should probably discuss a little bit more on strategy for Maddox. And the nymph, eliminating her wouldn't actually get rid of the Ferdigal. Ferderg. God. It wouldn't get rid of it. It would still continue to come. We have to trap it independently. Therefore, I release you of your obligation to take out the nymph. Because
So I don't have to kill the girl.
you don't have to kill the
Do
girl.
I get to kill the evil little rat thing with many arms?
Oh, yes. However, we need to do it in subtle, secret ways, and we'll have to figure that out.
I am the master of subtlety. You know this about me.
You clink when you walk down hallways. It's not like you can't really walk subtly.
Everyone knows how you exaggerate, Ben.
Did you know this box ends the world?
Who said that?
Oh, here, take it back, please.
I will happily carry it.
I'm just saying, I hope that's an exaggeration too. In any case, let's go eat, and then we will set out. We probably want to take horses.
Because we want to give the Jabberwock something to snack on.
Oh, that's good. Snicker snack.
Sorry, Jabberwocky.
Yeah, I don't know what I can't put all of these different things together. I just know that clear direction, now that we understand what we're up against, somewhat, and an army of red caps. You said you encountered one. I'm curious about that. I'm also curious about what, maybe we threaten Maddox with opening the box without the intent.
Oh, interesting.
Coming from you, he might believe it.
Well, here's the thing. Maeve said that this is the way to eliminate him, and I hold the box ready to eliminate him because it would destroy his one place of purchase. Hey, let's eat, and we'll talk about it during.
To be clear, fate said that.
Fate said that, and why would fate say that if it didn't mean something? Fate doesn't necessarily have anything against us or for us. Maybe against you, it sounds like, but
well, she does have my strand separate on the chair. I noticed that. Yes.
Interesting. I felt a few strange tugs.
Were you tempting fate?
No. You must have been. Give him a little bit of a shoulder. Was she cute?
Down in the servants' commons, they are only too happy to feed you. Although Blanca is looking at what is being served for the gentlefolk of the manor.
And sticking her finger in all of it.
For you common folk, your meal consists of soda bread with honey butter, cabbage, potatoes, corned beef, and clam chowder.
Whoa.
Clam chowder.
Nice.
And beer if you wish it.
Oh. Well, it chases whiskey very well.
Quite. For Blanca, as you check out what's going on, Cook is only too happy to show you that the main course is beef Wellington.
Ooh, Jefferson's.
Jefferson's good. I gotta try that.
Beef Wellington.
There's also tier lobster with vanilla and black truffles. trout roe on the side, green peas and poached egg. As a palate cleanser, there is black watermelon, extremely rare, and ending it with a either a creme brulee or green apple sorbet.
That was delicious.
I would just be
feel-
so
I feel
confused
heavier.
eating that food. I just
You
I'm
keep your soda crackers. I'm going upstairs.
She
Wait.
laughs, the cook laughs and tells you that there is an extreme amount of cutlery that goes with such a meal.
I
She says, "Dearest, I can serve you anything down here. You're not really dressed for dinner."
I motion towards the open counter space in front of me and wait to be served like I am upstairs.